Today, I'm going to show you what it's like to drive a Generation 5 Viper GTS. One of the first things you'll notice is that the door handle is flush. It's got an inward lever. Up in the interior, you've got a push button start and of course a 6-speed manual transmission. The other thing you'll notice is the interior pretty much sucks. Even for a GTS with as high of a trim in terms of interior quality and leather, it's just not designed very well. Put it in first. Now, one thing that took a bit to realize is, and actually the owner of this car didn't know, on the steering column to the left, you can press a button that adjusts the pedal position. So kind of like the LaFerrari, it can push the brake and the clutch and the gas forward and backwards because the steering wheel doesn't telescope. Haven't seen that on too many cars, and I really appreciate it. It makes the driving position a lot better. It's really cramped in here, and as you can see, the visibility out the front is terrible, and then over the side by Eddie, there really isn't any visibility at all over your shoulder. The clutch is not too light, not too heavy. Some Goldilocks clutch action. Nice old Mustang. Steering is very, very heavy though. That's not a bad thing at all. I like it. Fits this car for sure. Immediately, you'll notice going over the smallest bit of gravel, you hear all of it bouncing against the underside of the car, and any little bumps, you feel it. The car is very loud in every regard, in terms of road noise, wind noise, engine noise, but it's not supposed to be a quiet car. Drop it into second. It's definitely extremely quick. 0 to 60, low 3-second range, 11.4 in the quarter mile. What I love is how easy it is to shift the 6-speed manual transmission. It's really notchy. You know exactly when you're in gear, but that full throttle acceleration going from second to third, it's so easy to do, and easy to do it without jerking. I really appreciate that. The car is a lot smaller and feels smaller than you would imagine, at least seeing the car in pictures. It's got such a long hood that it gives the impression that the car is huge, but in fact it's smaller than a 911 and feels like a car of that size. It actually feels similar to driving a Mercedes SLS. It's got a similar shape to it, a really long hood. The cabin is located towards the rear wheels, and it's a small car, but it's a little bit harder to place on the road than some cars of a similar size because the hood is so darn long. I love the fully digital instrument cluster. It's not customizable to the degree that something like the new Z06 is, but if you shift at red line, a Viper appears on the dash for a brief moment of time to tell you to shift. I think that is really cool. Much cooler than a normal shift light. Now, despite some of its shortcomings with the interior and perhaps the reliability, this car is so fun to drive, you really don't care about it. 6-speed manual, 640 horsepower, rear wheel drive. In terms of driver involvement, it doesn't really get more pure than this in terms of new cars. I mean, the only reason this car likely has traction control is because of the government regulations. I would believe that Dodge might even eliminate that if it wasn't a legal requirement. It's all about the raw driving experience, and that makes it one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. definitely feels brutal, to say the least. Well, that's what it's like to drive a Viper GTS. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. Thanks so much for Waseem, the owner of this car, who runs the Motor City Rally in Detroit, which is happening from August 3rd to August 6th. Eddie and I are going on it. There's going to be Ferraris, Lamborghinis, exotic cars. This Viper is going. Check them out on Facebook, Motor City Rally, or on Instagram, @Motor City Rally. Look forward to seeing you next video.